Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and I believe this is game 2 in a series. I know how many games are in the series just because I had to download the replays, but I don't know if it's best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, best of 2 team match. I don't know, so I'm not gonna say best of anything any longer unless I know for sure if it's some sort of finals and some sort of replay pack. Anyways, MyMDemuslim spawning as the Protoss player over here, blue side, or well, spawning as the blue Protoss player over here at the 7.5 position. Meanwhile, MtwNightEnd spawning as the purple Terran player over here on the top right hand side. MtwNightEnd looking to go for perhaps a standard build. Is he going to be building a supply depot or a barracks? Yeah, going to go for a standard supply depot at 10 food. So fairly standard opening. Meanwhile, we have MtwNightEnd gonna go ahead and get down this pylon. And pylon most likely gonna have, he can either chrono boost that nexus in order to get an economic advantage, or is trying to produce a gateway. It looks as though he's trying to go for an earlier gateway and gonna delay his second and third probe. Down over here, we now have MtwNightEnd sitting with this SCV, both of them trying to juke each other out, and now MtwNightEnd able to pull away with that single probe as that SCV continues the chase. That probe pretty much able to just run around inside that base, perhaps get a little bit of scouting. As a Terran player, you always want to make sure that you know where that probe is. That probe can do some nasty tricks with pylons and warp in. So you want to make sure that you keep a good tabs on him. If he's out of range, you want to make sure to chase him. When he's not out of sight, you just want to leave that SCV back to mine. Now finally we have MtwNightEnd moving out with an SCV as well in order to perhaps do some scouting. Oh no, gonna go ahead and drop down that supply depot. So we finally have MtwNightEnd moving back home. Taking a look in MtwNightEnd's base. MtwNightEnd has an assimilator up, getting that cybernetics core, and also has a single gateway. So this single gateway most likely going to produce stalkers just to hold off any sort of Reaper harassment. But the Reaper harassment would mainly be, or the Reaper build at this point would be mainly used to scout, as the Reaper would be fairly late. MtwNightEnd, however, now getting a single Marine, no tech lab yet. So going for perhaps a mass Marine build, trying to keep as many SCVs on that mineral line as he can. Go for mass Marines, and then perhaps delay when he's going to go ahead and get those additional, get those tech labs on those buildings. So yeah, already 2 Marines being built. MtwNightEnd gonna go ahead and get a bunker down here as well. But whether or not those units will be able to do a run by is another question. Perhaps the bunker should be if it was built here, no, the units would be able to squeeze on by. I think that bunker is able to cover both this side and this side as well, as more Marines are still being trained up. Still, MtwNightEnd not getting any gas, so income-wise, he's definitely ahead, even though he has less harvesters, just because he's not he doesn't have 6 probes, or excuse me, 6 SCVs on gas. MtwNightEnd now going for that dual gateway, getting some sentries. So those sentries will be a very strong counter towards those Marines. Sentries with that Guardian shield essentially gives all units within range an additional 2 armor against range attacks. Marines having that range attack. Marines having a range attack is affected by this, and on top of that, because a Marine normally deals 6 damage, it is then decreased to 4. So 3 Marines essentially become as powerful as 2, and when you're able to cut out 1/3 of your opponent's DPS damage, that is fairly significant. MtwNightEnd now going for a triple or a quadruple racks build after building some of these bunkers, so trying to macro up more of these. And now, how is MtwNightEnd going to respond? MtwNightEnd getting some sentries, now going for a 4-gate build. I'm not sure if MtwNightEnd knows what exactly the strategy is. He perhaps saw this first bunker, and knowing that that first bunker is there, must be assuming that he's going to be going for mass Marines, as this is a fairly common strategy that I've seen from MtwNightEnd. MtwNightEnd at some point in the game will be getting double gas and then just trying to macro up as much gas as possible. Wow, MtwNightEnd getting 4 bunkers now, 2 of them completely full, and now training up more units as well. Training up 4 Marines, getting another orbital command. Income-wise, 23 harvesters, mining at 1,000 minerals, and now in comes the Sentry Zealot army. How is this going to work out? Are those units going to perhaps try to come up from that back door? MtwNightEnd getting sees 5 bunkers now, realizes that he can't really push in through there, And how is he going to try to use this? Getting another proxy pylon here. Warp gate research has been completed, so the Muslim knows that he's going to have to deal with some sort of 4-gate. Tech labs not yet down. No, not a single ounce of Vespene gas yet harvested. Now an engineering bay being placed down on the front. So that with that engineering bay, those zealots will have a hard time trying to get within melee range. Marines now jumping into those bunkers. So, wow, that is a lot of, what is that, 20 Marines in bunkers, or 19 Marines in bunkers with one outside. Army-wise, NightEnd sitting on a larger army, and in comes this Guardian Shield. How is this all going to work? Units focusing down, Zealots getting stuck all over the place, more units being warped in. Sentries now coming in as well. Are we going to get a little bit of a repair coming in? Force field now coming in as well, so unable to really try to repair any of these, and Zealots getting focused down. Army of the Muslim now down to 500. All he really has is, well, he has 8 sentries at this stage in the game, so 8 sentries is a lot of sentries. More bunkers being placed down, and with NightEnd now able to focus down this engineering bay, that's going to really change up the game, as those Zealots will be able to push on through. Now, once again, more force field coming in, and with those force fields coming in, however, no Guardian Shield. That's a bit of a surprise. Those units unable to really engage the Muslim, sitting on a much smaller army size, what, 450 and 500? I can't even tell what that is. 5 sentries, 2 Zealots against 29 Marines, so just mass Marines continuing to fight. Income, we finally have the Muslim getting some additional harvesters and getting some units on gas. We now have tech labs being put down as well. A little bit surprised that NightEnd is not going for robotics facility. Robotics facility, get the range upgrade. Once you have that range upgrade, even now you could have dropped the Colossus here without that range upgrade and started shooting down from that high ground. I do not believe that units are going to be able to shoot down from that high ground at all. And why did he warp in those units up there? I do not know. So he could have warped in the units down over here instead, forcing them to run back around. Income, 32 harvesters for the Muslim. NightEnd sitting on 24. So it looks as though mass Marines are going to be able to win this game. No tech. Oh, finally a tech to tier 2 and perhaps a starport. Yes, a starport for perhaps some Banshees or perhaps just medics or medevacs. We are getting the concussive missile upgrade. No stim pack upgrade just quite yet. Operating off of 4 gas right now. Now transferring some SCVs over there as well. Army-wise, we have 1650 and 900 versus 1850 and 100 gas. So both sides starting to macro up a larger and larger army. Perhaps some of those Marauders should also come into position or go into those bunkers as well. Those Marauders have a range of 6. And then naturally in that bunker will have a range of 7. We'll be able to start shooting back at these Zealots. Mass Zealots and Sentries. Guardian Shield once again being activated. Force fields now being used in order to push back some of those units. Will he be able to breach this front door? More units continue to be warped in. Zealots coming in, just trying to rip through the rest of these armies, trying to slowly push these Marauders away. Both sides taking heavy losses as those more force fields are coming in. Marauders on that high ground continuing to rain down damage with those Punisher grenades. However, this mass sentry army will not have enough in order to fight back the rest of these units. Medevac now in the air, healing up that one Marauder, and NightEnd says GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between NightEnd and the Muslim here on Steps of War.